Hello besties, salam. Welcome to the end of your book tag. I cannot believe I'm saying that. I'm gonna put this down. I cannot believe I'm saying that because I've watched this tag from so many of my favorite booktubers, and to be making one is crazy. This year has been quite hectic. So I've only read 12 books, which is really bad compared to my past reading records. Let's answer some of these questions and talk about my reads of 2024. So the first question is most disappointing book of the year, and to be honest, alhamdulillah, I was blessed to have read so many incredible books. But if I had to choose one, A Tempest of Tea by Hafsah Faizal. I have the book, I just cannot find the physical copy right now. It might even be on the shelf behind me. Main character who was running her own tea house, which turned into a blood house at night, and a city that runs as deep in secrets as it does in depth. To our main character, who is the collector of secrets. Being a heavy mood reader might be the issue. Obviously, the existence of a vampire society, all of it was done really well. It's just the pacing, I think, felt off for me, and that was the only reason. The next question is, what was an overhyped book that you read? And because I didn't read anything that was really overhyped, I'm gonna change that to what is the most popular book that I read, 40 Rules of Love by Elif Shafak. I feel like this is a book that every single person, whether they like reading or not, have either read it or they have posted it on their Instagram story. 40 Rules of Love is an ode to finding love that exists within each and every one of us. Covers the different rules in love, but also the beginning of the instruction manual that allows us to unearth the love that exists inside. Dual timeline story shifting between Ella, who's working with a literary agent. She comes across this manuscript, sweet blasphemy. Again, I'm looking up the synopsis because I read this early on in the year and a lot of details have gone, but the message and the essence remain. Reading the story of Shams and Rumi finds parallels in her own life, and she realizes that as Shams plays the pivotal role in transforming Rumi, so does the author of this book, Aziz Ansari. No, not Aziz Ansari. Aziz Zahara, has in the transformation of Ella's life. I found Shams's character to be so enlightening. A lot of the lessons that he taught did feel like a hard pill to swallow. A really good read, and it is one of my best friend's favorite books, so I feel like I understand her a little bit better. Next question is, what is a book that surprised you? One that might have surprised me because I was expecting a certain kind of vibe and I got a different kind of vibe is Sweet Bean Paste by Durian Sukigawa. I've done a whole in-depth review on this, so you guys can check it out. The cover, very cutesy, Studio Ghibli, wholesome. It did deliver that, and it also did cause some tears and some emotional damage. So yes. Next question is your favorite book couple of the year, and for this I have two. One of them I read on audio, which is The River of Silver by S.A. Chakraborty. It's a collection of stories pre spanning the Devabal trilogy. The couple Ali and Nahri from this trilogy, so we do glimpses into the future of what happened to their relationship. And another couple that made their way into my heart this year is one of my favorite reads this year, Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson. I have such a stunning edition, and I've done a whole review here. Currently loaned the copy to one of my besties. How they both came from starkly contrasting worlds. One literally sacrifices everything to serve her people, and the other doing the bare necessities, bare minimum to get by because of certain things that he had done in his past. Them kind of help save each other and save respective worlds. They just made their way into my heart. So the next question is your favorite main characters of the year. I would again mention the two main characters from Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, Yumi and Ikuro. Another mention is Murder Under a Red Moon by Harini Nagendra. So our protagonist, Kaveri, a new bride, navigating the delicate balance between being a housewife, living with her in-laws, is set in 1920s Bangalore in India. I love that setting. She is super smart and witty, and her sleuthing skills might help her solve the murder mystery in her town, as well as save essentially her own neck, because word gets out on the streets that Kaveri is meddling, and as Scooby-Doo has taught us, they don't like people who meddle. Such a fun read. It's part of a collection, the Bangalore Detectives Club. I happened to read the second book accidentally, but it read completely fine as a standalone, and I really enjoyed her character. I loved how she placed the importance on maintaining family and relations, but also used her abilities to help the people in her society. She might have been one of the first few empowering women in the scene. What is the happiest book that you read this year? So I'm just gonna choose some the romance category, and one that I really enjoyed reading, and that was Much Ado About Nada by Uzma Jalaluddin, a new author that I read this year and absolutely enjoyed. I read this on Audible. A modern Muslim retelling of Persuasion by Jane Austen. Nada, who's this headstrong, ambitious woman in her late 20s in a tight-knit Toronto Muslim community with her family who are pushing her, you know, what happens to us Desi girls in our late 20s, and she's also feeling stuck in her career. She has a passion project that she started, got sabotaged by a partner that she was working with. She's trying to get out of her rut. She gets invited to a halal marriage seeking conference called Prospects by her bestie, who is determined to get her help. She confronts her former best friend and first love. So it's a second chance romance, explores themes of community, love, finding oneself, and kind of like not putting a plug on one's dream. Next question is new favorite author you discovered this year, and I only read new authors this year. I really enjoyed Roshni Chokshi's writing in The Last Tale of a Flower Bride. It just read so beautifully, so lyrically. I felt like I was living in a fairy tale reading her writing. Brandon Sanderson. It's been a while since feverishly flipping through the pages. It made me fall in love with reading again. I'm going to check out more of Uzma Jalaluddin's work. Elif Shafak, of course, how could I forget? 40 Rules of Love was written incredibly as well. Next question is your favorite cover of the year. Again, I'm gonna say Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. Absolutely stunning. Shannon, give it back to me. No, I'm just kidding. What is the saddest book of the year? I didn't read way too many harrowing books this year. What came to mind? Like Water for Chocolate by Laura Esquivel. Como Agua para Chocolate, set in Mexico. I listened to this and I finished it in one sitting. Literally gripped me. Format of the story is so interesting. It was like a soap opera, recipe cookbook, the book of remedy, everything just smashed into one. But it follows the lives of this family led by matriarch Mama Elena and her daughters, how their lives unfold in the setting of rural Mexico. Family lives on a ranch. Their overbearing mother kind of molds them in different ways to be the women that they become. Highly recommend the audiobook. It was really good. Whatever happened to the main character, I feel for you. Questions keep going. Question is the best book adaptation of the year. Editing Lubna here, and I totally forgot about this adaptation that I watched and absolutely enjoyed. I literally binged it in less than a week. Hilarious reimagining of Lady Jane Grey's story. She was always known as the 9-Day Queen. Here it's set in alternate England where politics and magic collide. There's an element of shape-shifting. She gets forced into an arranged marriage, soon discovers that her husband can turn into a horse. Filled with humor, romance, lots of unexpected twists, and a funny reimagining of her story. The most unique concept that you read this year? First thing that came to mind was Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. Once again, painter's world where nightmares take form and you can combat them by painting them. Basically reduce something's power by kind of depicting them into a small subject. The next question is an unpopular book that you love. Murder Under a Red Moon for this. You can see a lot of books that are repeated here because again, I only read 12 books. Books you read this year that you would reread. To be honest, with the amount of books on my TBR, I don't think I have time. So skipping that. Finally, books you wish you got to this year. Of course, these and these. So disappointed I didn't get to this year is Butter by Asako Yuzuki. I swear in 2025, inshallah, I will read this and give you guys a good review. And final question, what will you prioritize in 2025? Number one, I'm not buying any more books. Someone is going to probably take a screen cap of this moment and send it to me the next time they see me walking around Kino. If you saw me, that wasn't me. At least for the first 6 months of the year. If I do really well, I'll treat myself. Second one, I would say to read more Indian authors, Arab authors, for example, Arundhati Roy. This book and more Susan Abu Hawa. 25 books. Like, it makes sense. 25 in 2025. The math is mathing. So inshallah, I get to them. I'm going to put these questions down in the description so you guys can also answer them. And hopefully they are on my shelf so I can pick it up too. And I wish you guys a blessed 2025. And I hope for so much joy and happiness and blessings for all of you. I will see you next year. Bye.